Yes, it is true. The Black Ice Hockey Podcast is back in action. My name is Blaine Adams. I'm right here as always with your co-host Nick Jenks Jenkins. What's going on, man?
What's happening, man? You know what? I I think I was excited for the Olympics. I don't know it was going to be that
Yeah,
exciting. It's both men's and women's hockey, and I can't wait to talk about this a little bit more. But U.S. is our gold medalist. I can see blue skies today in Erie, Pennsylvania, in the middle of winter.
yeah,
I don't have a whole lot to complain about right now. How are things there?
yeah. It seems like the Olympics played out the way hockey gods wanted it to, and honestly, we couldn't have asked for anything more than what we got. Yeah, in Pittsburgh, PA, blue skies. I think I saw three bald eagles scream across my balcony this morning as I woke up to start the day. So yeah, really can't complain here. Outside of that, just kind of moving through life right now. Hockey's almost over. We're getting to the dog days of the season where playoff hopes and dreams are either coming or ending for a few teams, and for everybody that's moving on to either the state tournament. I know the Minnesota stuff is pretty big. I would just want to say congrats, or if you are going home and kind of regrouping for next season, there's always more hockey to play in life, whether that be ACHA or the next season in high school. So just prepare for the best, and I would like to say just don't put everything in one basket moving forward while hockey is ending. I know people, it's sports. Everybody gets emotional, but just try to keep moving forward. There's always more hockey to play, whether it be refing, coaching, or beer league. We all end up there at some point. So, all right, Jenks, let's jump right into it. The Olympics, I think for me, were not even close to a letdown. This was by far some of the most fun hockey to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, the prelims, round robin play, kind of a snoozer, but we did get an all-time quote from a Chuck boy, so that's kind of what I enjoyed about it.
The one thing you can count on is the Kachucks just not
Yeah,
caring at all what anybody thinks about them. They're going to say and do exactly whatever they want.
yeah. I think it's crazy because I was looking online after that little chirp came out, and people were like, "Oh, that's such like a middle school chirp. Like that's so easy. Everybody says." I'm like, bro, you know what the little kids say on the ice? F you, F this, F you. Like, I banged your mom last night. Like, that's all they say. Like, that's it. Nobody's original. So, like, to hear that and to hear what, like, these pro hockey people say to each other, and, like, to see Leon just laughing about it, like, that's awesome to me. Because, he was like, oh, okay, that was actually a good one, not like in a mean hearted, spirited way. So,
Yeah,
always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Kind of rings true
that's
for a
it.
lot of those Canadian teams up there. But moving through the prelims, what would you say? What stood out to you the most about the preliminary rounds of the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing, and this was a storyline too, is that very first game that Italy played against Canada when he was just absolutely stonewalling them.
Yep.
I forget exactly what he had, like 40 some saves or whatever. It's always fun when you get, like I'll call it like a Cinderella story out of these teams that are not expected to do much. I guess this goalie's on an AHL only contract, so maybe he gets a look at some point after having he individually had a very good overall Olympic tournament. So
Yep.
good for him. I think I was surprised at the the lack of scoring initially for Canada. It just seemed like they got up to speed pretty slow, and then by the time the play in and the medal round started, they were full speed ahead. Um, but it just seemed like they got up to speed pretty slow. I think the other big surprise for me was how well Slovakia did.
Yeah, truly.
I mean, they had an all-in very good tournament, and I know they didn't end up medaling, but they went all the way to the medal round. Ultimately, lost to Finland, right? Slavkovsky individually had a very good tournament for Slovakia, but they were probably the biggest surprise for me throughout the whole thing. Um, yeah, what did you take away from the early stuff?
Yeah, I think it just goes to prove like the Olympics, you never know what's going to happen in all these storylines. Like I feel like we see a lot more of the stories behind people through like the NFL draft and things like of that nature. But like it's fun to see like these guys from Italy, from Germany, from Slovakia, from Czechia, all like have great tournaments. Like Sweden had a great tournament, Finland had a great tournament. Like I think it goes to show hockey's elevating throughout the world. And, I think one place in specifically that hits home for us is USA. Like, how hard is it to develop like these kids these days to like reach their potential, reach like all their aspirations, and we saw it come into fruition a couple weeks ago or last week. So I think for me, what stood out was just how all these people played on all of these different teams that came together as a group and played their hearts out. I think that's what I think people don't see a lot. Is like, oh, you're good. Oh, like it's just an all-star team. Yeah, but you have all these egos you have to manage too, right? Like you have two Chuck brothers and two Quinn Hughes brothers on the team. Like that's a lot of egos just in those four guys alone. Tage Thompson, Dylan Larkin, like you have all these like captains and assistant captains on the team. Hellebuck had a hell of a tournament. Binnington had a hell of a tournament. I think the guy from Italy plays on the Anaheim Ducks, right? Do you know off the top of your head? If not, it doesn't matter. But I think he's out in the West
Let me
Coast
look.
somewhere. Um, but just having these guys like Safkowski, like maybe he becomes a known name around. Like he hasn't had a good start for the Canadians this year, and really hasn't had much of an impact. But maybe after the Olympics, he gains a little bit of confidence going into his third, fourth year now. So I think some of this tournament play elevates these players that may not have had a strong shot in the last couple of years here, but maybe now the AHL, NHL, I think whoever owns or not owns, but like um, the Italy goalie plays for, maybe he gets a harder look at the offseason now. Or maybe they bring him up if playoffs come about. But I think as far as prelims, that was it. As far as me, some of these games are like 18 to like 6 or like 9-1. So it's like hard to like really give people a shot. I know a lot of the goalies, like they get like 1 or 2 games in and then that's it because Connor Hellebuck's an absolute stonewall, and we'll get to that eventually. But moving into the semifinal games, Jenks, I think this is where my heart was like through the floor. I'm like, if Canada and the United States do not make it, that's it. The Olympics is chalked. Like nobody cares anymore. What was your take on the 2 overtimes that we had in both semifinal games?
Yeah, I first off, I mean, I thought for sure that US was
Yeah.
toast. I mean, they just could not find a way to bury a goal. Um, and then, ultimately get it tied, take it in overtime, and then Quinn Hughes does his heroics.
Just
Um,
absolute thug mentality to wave off the bench. Like,
oh yeah,
imagine just a team full of studs, and you're just like, nah, I'm staying
yeah,
out here.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean you want that level of confidence in your best player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt that individually Quinn Hughes is the best player on USA. I mean, outside of Connor Hellebuck, of course,
Right.
which we'll talk about. But Quinn Hughes is like, nope, I've got this. I'm staying out. He puts on a nice move, gets a shot on net, puts it in, and moves him on to the gold medal game. Um, and then Canada, I mean, they were in panic mode trying to
Yeah.
score. They could not find a way to bear. Same thing as the U.S. They were pounding Finland with shots, and they just could not find a way to get one through. And then finally, McKinnon gets one through on a sharp angle shot to tie the game. Then they go to overtime and they get it done. But I think the one thing that I take away from this is if I take a step back and say, yes, the U.S. and Canada really dominated play. The fact that these games were that close in the semifinals shows you how much better these other countries are getting to be able to compete.
Yep.
You know, Finland has always been so good defensively.
I mean, Finland's always in the World Juniors though, like championships. I feel like, or like the U18s at least.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's funny. The semifinal games were like Canada, Finland, Sweden, U.S. Like those are the four, I guess you would call them powerhouses, since Russia's not in it right now. But man, it's so even for both of those games to go to overtime is just crazy.
Yeah. I think what's wild for me is like you couldn't have asked for better final 3 games for the Olympics. Like the Olympics literally, like the whole Olympics in general, like Winter Olympics is kind of an iffy sport. Like it's very weird. Like if you watch some of the sports throughout, like skeleton, luge, the biathlon where you shoot the targets and you ski a bunch. I know there's like the half pipe and stuff, but like that to me doesn't seem as exciting because most normal casual watchers of the Olympics don't know what the frick is going on. And you're like, oh, that guy just made 3 twists in the air and somehow won the Olympics. You're like, how? But then you watch hockey and there's so much like hype and amped up energy around it. I think that's where like my love for it comes from, and to see Quinn Hughes absolutely look off the bench and maybe even, you know, it matches the Marner play. Like think about what that guy's gone through in Toronto alone. Yeah. Maybe he becomes the next savior of Canada. I don't know, but just to see some of these heroics from household names, like that's what I love about it. And Quinn Hughes, the man, like sees ghosts constantly, right? Like that's the whole meme about him. And maybe he was like collecting all the ghost power and finally did it in overtime to take the U.S. to meet Canada in the championships. But before we talk about that, there's a controversy before even the semifinal games that I want to touch on, and that's to our beloved Sidney Crosby. A lot of people have a lot to say about how he got injured in the Olympics, Jenks. I want to know your take because there's been some interviews after post-Olympics now of him talking about it. So I want to hear your first reactions and then maybe a couple days after reactions.
I mean, I think my reaction we'll start with the play itself. I don't necessarily think there was anything malicious about the play itself. I think it's just one of those bad results.
Yeah.
And Gudas is ultimately who hit him. And,
public enemy number one.
If he's not number one, he's number 2 behind Big Tom Wilson.
Right.
He's probably not enemy number 1 now because he hurt Canada's beloved Sid.
Yeah.
But I don't, I look at that play and I think, Gudas is just stepping up to make a play, and that's just the type of player he is. I don't think it was overall dirty. The immediate reaction to that is, I think people go, oh my God, like, the NHL players are never going back to the Olympics again.
Yeah.
Because Sid just got hurt at the Olympics, and now this is going to affect the NHL. I mean, there were a couple other injuries at the Olympics that maybe weren't as in the news because they're not Sidney Crosby. But the reality is, if these guys were back at home playing for their NHL teams, they could get hurt too.
Yeah.
So, um, I don't know. Like, I know that they were playing it off, like Canada was playing it off, like it's not that bad. He could come back and play for the medal round, maybe for the gold medal game.
Yeah.
And then we ultimately get the news that he's going to be out for at least 4 weeks, which, as a Penguins fan, you hate to hear that.
At minimum, at least 4 weeks.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a killer for the Pens, who are in the hunt for not just a playoff spot. They're in the hunt for the division at this point.
Yeah.
So that for sure has an impact. I think the other thing that people are all up in arms about too is like, if Sid plays, there's no doubt Canada would have won gold. It's like,
if I had $1 million, I would have had $1 million.
If I had $1 million, I have $1 million. Right. You can't argue with that. There is no doubt that Sid is the best leader probably in hockey right now.
Yeah.
And for him to be out of that lineup, I'm sure it had an impact in the locker room for Canada. I could tell you for sure it had an impact on the ice, because you're missing your number 2 center really behind McDavid. And that's a huge drop off to go from Crosby to who was playing their third center. Would have been
I don't even know.
I can't think of off the top of my head right now, because they had McKinnon, McDavid, and Celebrini all on the same line, which is just not fair, and they still couldn't get it done.
Right.
So suck on that one.
Jesus.
But yeah, the Sid thing, like it sucks, but it's just reality, right? They're playing hockey, they're playing hard. He got caught up in a bad situation. You never want to see anybody get injured, especially not Sidney Crosby.
Yep.
And that's just the way it goes. It's a hard physical game.
Yeah, I think from like a non-hockey player perspective, like that's the worst thing possible you can have happen. Like there's so many people that love Sid just because he's Sidney Crosby and not because he's from Canada. Like United States people love Crosby and they'll always support Crosby no matter. He's like LeBron. Like no matter where LeBron goes, people love him, right? Like no matter where Sidney Crosby goes, people will love him. It's just like Fleury. Like he doesn't really have anybody that hates him except maybe Philadelphia. Now, I think the play in general, the picture that goes around with like this Gudas injury and Sidney Crosby injury is the wrong play. It's not where he gets injured at. He gets injured at the hit along the boards, and you could tell immediately, like he gets hit and he like tries to take a stride and he's just like, nope, goes straight to the bench. I think it's one of those plays where a D-man steps up and it's like a like really hard hit, but maybe like your knee gets just like caught in the ice the wrong way, or like gets caught in a rut, gets caught in a skating a position the wrong way, and it just tweaks something, and then boom, you're done, right? So, and we have to think too, Crosby's not a spry 22, 23-year-old anymore. Like something like that could again set him out for 4, 5, 6 weeks. And I think my first reaction was like, I hate Gudas. Like, why even step up on Crosby? Like, what was going to happen. But then again, his whole career, like, think about how much battling he's had to do. Like that clip of him in 2016 when we were playing the Sharks and Joe Thornton's literally mauling his head, right? Like, and Crosby's just no reaction. He's like, this is like another game. So I think it's a lot of culmination of that. It's a culmination of the hard atmosphere around the Olympics, not really getting the right recovery, the traveling. So I think it's more than just that hit. But I would agree. My first reaction was like, I hate Gudas. But, Crosby came out yesterday and said like he was totally fine with the hit. Like, obviously the media is going to be the media because we need talking points. But he's like, that's just hockey. Like, that's just how it goes. And that's right. That's sometimes hits happen. They're bad. They suck. it is what it is. Like I've seen him as a referee where it hits a normal, and then the kid goes into the boards and gets hurt. But like I can't do anything as a ref because it was a regular hit and everybody's freaking out, and you have to toss a coach. So that's just how it goes sometimes. You hate to see it for Canada, especially, and he came out before the or after the finale and said like he was close to coming back, but I don't think he wanted to risk the rest of his season for the NHL over the Olympics, and he's already said like he's rather have the Stanley Cup or the Olympics any day. So yeah, because Pittsburgh Penguins is his bread and butter. But Jenks, let's get to the game that everybody wants to hear us chat about, and it's the Olympic gold medal, Canada, United States. Jenks, what a game. What an absolute barn burner this was.
Unbelievable. If you missed this game, you missed history, and probably the best hockey game I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
I mean, I know it was low scoring, but right away from the opening faceoff, the U.S. was all over them. They got the first couple shots of the game. They had sustained pressure in the offensive zone. Canada flipped the script pretty quickly and started piling on the shots. But because we have an absolute brick wall in net,
yeah,
nothing got in. I mean, Hellebuyck played lights out. You cannot play any better than Connor Hellebuyck played.
You mean the Secretary of Defense?
The Secretary of Defense. He now has the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
He was given the Medal of Freedom. Like, this guy, that was a legacy game for Connor Hellebuyck.
Truly.
And think about this, too. Like, Connor Hellebuyck has gotten so much flack for his NHL career because he consistently dominates in the regular season. He's always in the top 3 for Vezina voting. He's got the best stats, and he just can't get over the hump in the playoffs to win the cup.
Yeah.
So it's like, is he the guy who just can't win the big game? And then he goes and does this on the world's biggest stage at the Olympics, and that is a defining game.
Yep.
For Hellebuyck. I mean, nothing else to say about him there. That was awesome.
I mean, talk about some of the timely saves that he's had. Like, think about like the picture that goes around, the absolute paddle he threw in front of Taves to keep that game alive. Like, at first, like when I was watching it real time, like, oh, Taves just missed the net. Like, he was just bad. No. And then they slowed it down. I'm like, oh my good Lord, Hellebuyck. Christ almighty. But, I think Canada should have won. They should have. I mean, think of the absolute muffin McKinnon sent towards the net with a wide open net. He just absolutely, his heart must have been through the floor. I couldn't even imagine missing like that type of goal. Like, everybody's going to grip their stick a little tighter. It's the Olympics, right? I get it. That shit happens. You got to move on. But Hellebuyck, what is it? Like 41 out of 42 saves. Like, absolute stud performance from him in the Olympic medal round. And I think at one point, the United States had like 10 shots on net and Hellebuyck had 36 or something stupid like that. Like, we were getting outplayed, but we just capitalized on our chances, and that showed throughout the game. Binnington had the same stuff happen to him. I think Matt Tkachuk had this puck on his feet in an open net and just couldn't figure out where his stick was. So a ton of chances on both sides, I think, to finish it early, but the boys battled and sent it to OT, Jenks, where, quite honestly, some of the best pictures I've ever seen out of a hockey player happen. And Jack Hughes, American hero, just absolute stud performance by him. I couldn't even imagine how you could have that sort of like aura around your whole person. Like, that's the moment everybody that plays hockey dreams of, whether it be in the Olympics or in the Stanley Cup final. OT, Game 7, you get the puck on your stick. What are you gonna do?
you can't write that any better. I mean, take it even another level too. Gets his teeth knocked out and stays in the game,
Yeah.
and then scores the game winner. And now we've got the pictures of him toothless with the flag draped around his shoulder after just the winning the gold medal for US. I mean, that is, you can't write a story any better than that.
Absolute
Just
gutsy.
unbelievable.
I mean, and Quinn Hughes came out after and said, like, yeah, I was talking to Jack last night, and he was like, "Hey, you up?" Like, "Yeah, what's up? What are you thinking of?" "Oh, just dreaming of scoring the golden goal." And it comes out. You could see how happy his brother is too. Like when they slow it down, Quinn is like the third person to see Jack. He's sprinting over there. It like just being able to watch that game was a pleasure. Like I can't even imagine the emotions that went through some of these people's heads. And then to tribute Johnny after, because we all know Johnny would have been on the team over Brock Nelson. Don't get me started, but still. Um and to see his kids and see his family there, that was an awesome moment. I'm sure they'll remember it for a lifetime. So it's just like I feel like USA has been through so much to get to this point. Like think about how bad the United States like forwards, defense, and goalies were over the past 20, 25 years. And then USA Hockey comes in, changes all sorts of development, and here we are reaping the rewards because these kids are absolute disgusting monsters. I really can't say anything more about this team, and let's flip the coin and talk about Canada. Some of the reactions after losing, you know, what would you do if you get handed a stuffed animal after you lost, Jenks, in the biggest
Dude,
game?
I would rip that thing's head off and chuck it down the ice.
It
Like,
would be,
did you see the clip of how McKinnon looked at that thing?
yeah. He's just like,
He looked at that. He's like, I'm going to burn this thing as soon as I get home. Like, this
yeah.
thing is dead. I'm gonna murder this stuffed animal.
Yeah.
He was so mad.
I think it's still insane. Like I was waiting for Crosby to get shown on the little TV screen, and just the roars that came out for just him alone, like absolute crazy. The guys love no matter what, but seeing Connor McDavid's like the pits and his eyes were like in the back of his head, like he like one Olympics, two Stanley Cups in a row in the last 3 years. I don't know if I would take any more losing after that point, Jenks.
No, I mean, if you're McDavid, like, this is like your all time low.
Yeah.
Like, you coming off back to back Stanley Cup losses, coming off and some of this too, like, put it into perspective, like, you still won a silver medal, right? Like, you lose the gold medal game, but you still win a silver medal. So, like, there's still something to be proud of there. But to not be able to get over the hump to win something, I mean, he's going to have all the individual stat records and everything in the world, and he's not going to have any team thing to show for it. No Stanley Cup, no gold medal. It's just, when are we going to get to that point where McDavid breaks that barrier and gets through and it gets a team win? He wants it so bad.
I mean, everybody's been saying in Edmonton he needs the supporting cast. Well, he had the supporting cast, right? I think it just comes down to we got to capitalize on our chances, and he wins yet again the MVP of the tournament while losing the tournament. I honestly, like you said, like I don't know if like they do it on purpose now. Like, to me, the MVP of the tournament has to be in the winning team. Like, have two selections. Like, we're saying we're not giving it to Connor Hellebuck. We're saying that.
So
like, make it up. Make it up. Change. Pivot. Do anything.
They need to change the process, because what I didn't know is, and somebody sent this to me. What I didn't know is they interviewed one of the people who votes for the tournament MVP, and they had to vote for the MVP after the first period of the game.
That's stupid.
They don't even see they don't even get to see how the tournament ends. You have to vote on somebody before the gold medal is awarded, which, like, at that point, Hellebuck was playing really well, but you had to think Canada was going to score on some chances. I mean, they were out shooting them 2-1.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, who has been the best individual player in the tournament? Probably McDavid. You know, there's definitely an argument that Hellebuck was solid all tournament, and that the gold medal game was just the icing on the cake. But I agree with you. You have to see out the entire tournament before you can pick who the MVP is of the tournament.
Yeah. I just don't think the whole MVP is for the NHL has been like thought about hard enough, like for some of these tournaments, like, or maybe change it. Be like, hey, we see the best player in the world decline it twice to go out there and receive it. Like maybe, I don't know, for optics, maybe just pick the team MVP that won. Like maybe have two. I just don't see this moving forward as a good thing because everybody's going to take this lead, right? Like nobody like after losing wants to go out there and be like, hooray, like I fucking lost. Like this trophy doesn't matter to me anymore. So I don't know. I think something needs to change about that, and I would like to see it change. And I wanna hear your thoughts about a different change people were arguing about online. 3-on-3 in the Olympics. Yes or no for you? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I gotta tell you, I know it benefited the U.S. in the end here, but I really believe that Canada had a 3-on-3 advantage because you could put out McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. just does not have a trio that matches up to that. They just don't. So it worked out, but all of these Canadians in particular who are like, if we played 5-on-5, we would have won. Technically, 3-on-3, you should have had an advantage too. So I'm not saying I agree with it, but I don't think that excuse works here. I think I don't like seeing any meaningful game end in a 3-on-3 overtime or a shootout. If it's a Stanley Cup playoff game, if it's Stanley Cup playoff game, if it's a medal game in the Olympics, World Championship, whatever it is, hockey is meant to be played full strength, 5-on-5, and that is where your team is at their best, and that is where you find out which teams are playing the best together. 3-on-3 is kind of like pond hockey. I mean, you're out there dumping it back, wait until somebody makes a mistake and take a rush in 2-on-1, bang, score.
Yeah.
It's not the core of the game. So I'm okay with 3-on-3 being a solution to speed things up in regular season games or preliminary games in tournaments, whatever. But to me, a gold medal game like that should be 5-on-5 continuous overtime until somebody scores a goal.
I would agree with that. I think, mainly that's just due to TV restrictions. We can't have this go into 3 overtimes, right? Like it could have gone like, Canada and US, they weren't scoring, right? So it could have gone to 3 overtimes and we'd be still watching it. So I think it's that. But yes, I would agree with literally everything you said. I don't know if I can add any more to that. I love seeing OTs, but then again, it sucks when it's 3-on-3 because it's going to end in like some dumb way. But it benefited us, so I don't care. Now let's jump over to the women's side of the tournament. I think everybody in the world knew that it was going to be Canada-US. United States and Canada were blowing teams out in the round robin. And, I don't say that in a mean way, but, all those women deserve to be there because they're the best in the world, right? That's what the Olympics are about. But I think it was a clear-cut United States-Canada matchup in the finals. And, again, you couldn't ask for a better way to end it with another OT winner for the United States, absolute chips on the goalie too. It didn't look like that hard of a shot, but hey, all you need is that goalie. You open those legs up, chips. See you later. And absolute all-time picture that the women's team had after she scored. Hands up, turning away, the Canadian tears on the ice. It was an all-timer for the United States women's team.
Oh, unbelievable! So that happened first, right?
Yeah.
And it was like everybody's already fired up. All the U.S. is already fired up because of that win. It's like, oh my God, dramatic fashion, what a win! Everybody's talking about, the great move that Megan Keller put on the defenseman and beat the goalie to win the golden goal. And then I wonder if the U.S. men carried some of that momentum into the game. They're like, hey, boys, the women got it done. It's our time.
Yep.
Like, we got to show up, too, so that we can be on top of the hockey world for both men and women. I think Megan Keller's a defenseman, too. So for her to be able to make that move, it was like the skill is really showing through there.
Yep.
She's awesome. She's really fun to watch. There are a lot of, I don't think people watch women hockey as much as they should. And the Olympics is a good time to catch some of that. I don't think people realize how skilled these women are. People are too quick to downplay it and be like, oh, it's women's hockey. It's not that exciting, but man, they can do almost everything the men can.
Yep.
And they're totally capable of competing with the best of them. And I think this just goes to prove it, that it's exciting hockey and it's fun to watch. And these are the best athletes in the world, regardless.
Yeah,
So,
you have to think like some NHL departments, player development are headed by some of these women, right? Like some of these
100%. Yep.
some of these hockey players. So, and I think the PWHL has really done a great thing to elevate some of the women's play as well, because they do a lot more than just like the development through like girls hockey at the younger ages. You can actually hit in the PWHL. So I think bringing that into the game really elevates what you have to do with and without the puck. So yeah, congrats to the United States women and men's team. Bringing back the gold. It was definitely looked like a hell of a party when they landed in Miami. And I'd just like to say, sports in general, celebrities, anything is going to get criticized no matter what you do, where you go, who you play for. I just hate how like every time like the Olympics comes on, it's always about politics. Like it's always about like, what do you think about this? Like you play for the United States. Like, what do you think that's going on in Washington D.C.? Like, I don't care what's going on in Washington D.C. Like growing up, like playing hockey, playing football, playing basketball, like all you dream about is being on the best team, or all you dream about is playing for your country overseas in a foreign land, right? Like that's what it's all about, and just repping the red, white, and blue. Like most of the quotes that come out, like, oh, you guys accepted the president's invite to come to the White House. Well, anybody would, right? Like, I don't care who's in office. Like, it could be a slug on the side of the road running the country. I'd still go, because guess how many times you get to be in the White House as a freaking athlete? Never.
Right.
Like, so it's one of those like special moments that you take advantage of when they come. And I think a lot of media, they just need talking points. Like some of the players that played yesterday declined the invite because they're playing yesterday. Like you can't be in two places at one time. So I think it's just overblown, and some people just need to relax just a touch. Maybe go outside, touch some grass, get a job, preferably a job, because we can't be online all the time. We just can't. And, people are going to accept, people are going to decline. It's their right. Who gives a shit? And move the frick on. Like, seriously, like, we care so much about that dumb shit. Like, it makes me so mad. But I'm like, dude, like, I would accept it if it was literally anybody. So, that's all I got to say about it, because there's been way too much going on online about it. It's absolutely drives me freaking crazy. Like, I don't care. How about care about something, like change my freaking windows, like care about that. Cut my grass, Any other Olympic talk, Jenks? I know there was outside of just men's hockey in general. There's a guy that broke up with his girlfriend on national TV. There was that. 10,000.
I didn't see that.
The
Wow.
skier that said
wow.
he cheated on his girlfriend at the Olympics.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I gotta get caught up on the.
Yeah,
on
you,
the other
you should watch
storylines
that
here.
clip. Yeah, I think he's from Norway, something. But he like I think he lives in the United States. Like he's dating somebody that is in college for the United States. I don't know. It's something wild like that. Like saying that over live TV, wild sauce.
Crazy.
Yeah, 10,000 condoms in 3 days in the Olympic Village. That's light work.
That's absurd.
That's
That is just crazy.
absolute insanity from the best athletes in the world. Outside of that, I don't know much. That guy did a backflip in figure skating.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And his dad, when he placed 8th in the solos, his dad absolutely like lost his mind. And I'm like, brother, maybe console your kid. I don't know. Something.
That was the same. That was the guy that was like they were pretty much handing him the gold medal as soon as he stepped off the plane in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was the heavy favorite to win it, and he fell twice in his final routine.
Right.
So sorry, things happen. You had a bad performance. It's life. It happens. Things happen.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
But congrats to everybody that won gold in their various countries, gold, silver, bronze. If I even sniffed a bronze medal, I'd hang it and throw it in everybody's face for literally the whole lifetime of my existence. So congrats to everybody. I still want to know how you pick up skeleton. I think it's one of the most odd sports in the history of man, but whatever. Yeah, it's something. But yeah, so after or a little bit before that, post our recording last time, Jenks, after our little excursion over to Penn State, your favorite player got into a little squabble in the nighttime. You want to tell the people what's been going on over then in the old Penn State universe?
So it's so funny how the story changes as it evolves. Like as we get more details and things come out.
Yeah.
Like, because at first, the first version of the story that comes out on the media stuff is, oh my God, Gavin McKenna just assaulted somebody. And it's like, that doesn't sound like something he would do. That's weird. Okay, let's wait and get more information. They're like already ready to convict him. They're like, nope, he's going to jail. His career's over. Like, let's find out the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And then details keep slowly coming out. Then we get the full version of the story, is that some drunk idiot is verbally assaulting his mother. And Gavin McKenna probably warned him a couple of times. He's like, dude, get out of my face. Like, get out of here. And he probably just continued on it. And McKenna's like, all right, I'm just going to take matters into my own hands now.
Yeah.
Like, he's defending his mom, okay? So anybody who still has a problem with this, get out of my face. You have issues.
Yeah. And apparently,
I would do the same thing. You would do the same. Anybody would do the same thing.
Apparently, his teammates did try to stop him, or did stop him at the bar from punching this kid out. And then they were like, all right, let's just leave.
Yeah. And the kid probably followed him outside and kept running his mouth.
Well, that's what they were saying in the
McKenna's like,
report.
I'm gonna bury you.
The kid was waiting outside to go and follow him. And
Okay,
even
so yeah.
and that's why it got dropped. Like, he was waiting. All the cameras show he was waiting for him. Like, I don't know how dumb you could be, like, to not think all of downtown Penn State College is on camera. Like, any downtown is gonna have a camera on every street corner. So, like, to not think that you waiting for somebody and then following them to your car, like, that's stalking, right? Like, it's not assault anymore. So And absolutely, how fragile of a jaw do you have to be to get absolutely broken in 2 punches, 3 times, 3 places? Oh God, I'd be so upset after coming out of that hangover. It'd be irrational how upset I'd be.
He should be completely embarrassed, and nobody
I
feels
you would have
bad
to
for him
transfer.
for
You would
breaking
have to
his jaw.
transfer.
Yeah,
There'd be
he'd never live that down. Get out of here.
there'd be no way. But then what McKinnon's first game back has like 9 points or something ridiculous, and then does the Conor McGregor strut after he scores. Oh
Yes, comes out of controversy and puts up an 8-point game
yeah,
and scores a goal and does the McGregor. This dude is him. Okay,
like
he is.
it couldn't have been better. Like that timing of doing that celebration. Oh, it was great.
He took advantage of the moment. He saw the moment and said, "Now's my chance."
Yeah,
And now he is that kid is unbelievable.
yeah.
He has found another level to his game. And then he scored the game winner the night after making a beautiful move. He looks so good right now as we get to the end of the college season.
I mean, you had a heck of a statement over text to me. Like this guy, I he's just so tiny. Like yes, he did break a human being's jaw in 3 different places. I get that, but I just think like if we move to the next level here, like if you have Tom Wilson barreling down on you, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna survive that sort of action.
Call him Tiny again. I'll give him your home address. Tell him you're talking
it.
about his mom.
Do it. I'll freaking call him straight to his face. McKenna Trash. That's what he is. McTrash.
This dude, I have tried to defend him all season because people were on him from day one in college. Oh, he's not contributing. He doesn't look that good out there. I'm like, people, time out. Take a step back. He is 17 years old. That guy that just hit him is 26. Okay? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
He's a full-grown man, and Gavin McKenna is a literal child. He is not legally an adult yet. Okay?
Right.
And the development that he's had throughout this season to get to where he's at right now, to put up an 8-point game, a school record, a Big Ten record, he has taken leaps and bounds, and he looks as strong as he ever did. And they did a comparison in the second game, the second Ohio State game. They did a comparison between Celebrini, who we see what he's doing in the NHL right now,
Yeah.
and McKenna in their first year of school, which they did the same thing. They both went to school as freshmen, got drafted out of college. Celebrini and McKenna were 1 point apart after 26 games of their freshman season. Celebrini had 42, McKenna had 41. So to say that Celebrini is the truth and he is the next McDavid, and then to turn
Who said
around
that?
and shit on McKenna,
Who said he's the next McDavid?
literally everybody in the media.
Not a single. Well, apparently they're not listening to me. I've never said that one time.
Well, I could tell you who is the next McDavid. His name also starts with Mick, and it's Gavin McKenna /McGregor /McJesus /McDaddy, whatever you want to call
You're
him.
crazy. You're crazy. There's only one daddy, and it's freaking JT Miller. He's a United
The
States
Mick
gold
family
medalist.
continues. The JT Miller. I don't think JT Miller contributed during the tournament at all.
Don't care. He probably yelled at Jack Hughes a few times. He probably got it going.
I'm sure he's on the bench just yelling at everybody,
Yeah.
screaming like a drunk dad.
Yeah, hey, he's a gold medalist. What do you got, Jenks?
You know what? I can't respond to that because
Yeah.
you got me there.
Yeah,
He has a gold medal and I don't.
That's what I thought. Anyways, yeah, the McKenna is absolutely fucking nasty, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's generational at all. He's good. He's very good.
It's realistically, it is too early to say one way or the other, but he what we can say for sure is that he looks like a much improved player from the beginning of the season to now.
The thing is, Jenks, you can say you're generational when you enter the league and you absolutely light it the frick up your first season or second season. McDavid had 50 points in 48 games and he got hurt his first season. Okay, yeah, good. He had 100 points the next season. That's generational. You don't see little Connor Bedard or Alexei Lafreniere out here getting 100-point seasons. No, you don't. All right, relax. Generational is only reserved for people that are absolute nasty. Ovechkin, Crosby, generational. Malkin, very good. There's a difference. There's a line. I'm drawing it very clearly. Last thing before we wrap up, there was a big trade that we were speculating that was going to happen out of New York City. The Rangers traded Panarin to the Kings for a piece of lint and a few garbage cans. But they needed him out of there just to free up that freaking cap space. But are the Kings a contender now, Jenks, with Panarin on board?
Well, I could tell you one thing for sure. Kevin Fiala being out for the season sure isn't going to help them.
Yeah.
He was probably the biggest injury, maybe not the most public injury because Crosby obviously, but he got hurt so bad at the Olympics that they immediately declared him done for the season, for the NHL season and everything. So that's definitely not going to help the Kings' case. But,
yeah.
Panarin, to get a player like Panarin, one of these elite playmakers who's done it across different stops now. He's been in Chicago for a while and then took his talents to the Big Apple, played in New York City, was so good for the Rangers for a long time and actually pushed their rebuild into contender mode like very quickly because he signed there.
Yep.
He's a difference maker. There's no doubt about it. He will contribute. He will drag them back into the fight. I just don't know if I would call LA a contender. The pieces around their stars just don't give me the warm and fuzzies when I think about them being a contender.
You're freaking crazy. All right.
So,
all right.
Fair
enough.
That's my take on the Kings. But Panarin helps for sure, and he's the type of player that LA has been looking for years now.
Fair enough. All right. That's all I had written down. I know a few things came out last night. The Devils in Buffalo had like a ceremonial puck drop for Jack Hughes and Tage Thompson because they brought home the gold for the United States. It was pretty nice. They gave Jack the microphone and he said he's a freaking American. That's what he said. And I'm interested to see how like Connor Hellebuyck gets received in Canada. Like I wonder if there's boos or I wonder if they're going to cheer because we all know Canadian freaking media is absolute stupid. I wonder how Austin Matthews is going to get received. McDavid played last night and absolutely had an all-time quote. Basically, the journalist called him the bridesmaid, never the bride, to his face. And Connor McDavid was like, "Oh, that was nice. Thank you." Like absolute like piece of shit. I'm sorry, but journalists in Canada need to freaking step up their game and act like these guys are humans and not just hit pieces for their freaking stories. So that's all I had. I mean, post Olympics, it's all going to be politics for about 2 weeks, and then everybody's going to forget the hockey exists, and then we're going to go back to normal status quo. Seriously, that's how it works every year. Like the Olympics happen, everybody remembers these people, and then 2 weeks later, everybody forgets people. Like that guy from Norway that won like 1 million gold medals this Olympics. I don't even know his name anymore. Like I used to, but I don't anymore. So, Thursday is today. We're gonna do Saturday, February 28th, full slate of games. Jenks, what is your writing on the wall pick?
The NHL is back, and To be honest with you, I wasn't ready for this.
I'll go. I'll go.
Yeah, you go first today. Hit us with it.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with a 4 o'clock game. Oilers Sharks. Now we're coming off Canada. Celebrini may have a game before that. Connor McDavid might have a few games under his belt. Um, I think the Oilers. They were five. They scored 5 goals last night, and they let up 5 goals, and they pulled Jari. That's the state of the Oilers right now. They can't figure out how in the world to get a goaltender in the building that can stop pucks. I could have told you Jari doesn't know how to stop pucks. Just shoot glove side high. He still hasn't fixed it in the last 10 years. Penguins don't know how to keep a goalie that knows how to use his glove. Because if they did, they would hire me and I would shoot there all practice. Anyways, the Oilers Sharks, I think Celebrini's hitting a good stride with just his game in general. And they have a nasty goaltender if they can figure it out with Yaslav or Akravo. And they have Nedeljkovic. That's a great backup. He's not a starter. He's a good backup. So I would like to see the Sharks take advantage of the situation post Celebrini heartbreak, and maybe Celebrini has a little bit of gas in the tank for the Sharks here. I'm not saying it, Jenks, but if the Sharks string together 2, 3, 4 wins, they're in the conversation. That's how bad the West is right now. You just string together a couple wins, and you're right in the wild card spot. I'm taking the Sharks over the Oilers. You can book that responsibly, of course.
Okay. I like that. I think I think the Sharks are hungry for more, and the Oilers are in a little bit of turmoil right now. God knows Jari can't stop it.
There's always turmoil over there. I don't think they've ever had like a steady state since Gretzky.
Always. So let's jump to a little bit of a different vibe.
Vibe? So you switching up the vibe?
Switching up the vibe.
Okay.
If there are doubts about Edmonton's ability to get anything done and the struggles of Connor McDavid,
yeah.
If there's one guy that I'm scared of and I don't doubt, it's Nathan MacKinnon.
Fair.
And the way he looked at that stuffed animal scared me. I'm sure it scared the stuffed animal. It scared me.
Okay.
That guy is going to come back to the NHL, a man on a mission.
Yeah, truly.
He's going to say, we didn't win the gold. I'm winning the Stanley Cup. And I'm going to make sure we got to do whatever we got to do to win this thing.
Yep.
And I know the Blackhawks are not the strongest team, but they're the next guys in the way, and they are going to get steamrolled by a very angry Nathan MacKinnon on Saturday.
Yep.
It's not going to be pretty. I feel bad for Bedard and all the Blackhawks, but they're going to feel his – and they've got other Canadians on the team too. Makar's going to be frustrated. Devon Taves is going to be frustrated.
Yep.
These guys are going to come back with a vengeance. They're going to have something to play for and say, hey, guys, I know we didn't get it done. We've still got a chance to win something this year. Arguably more important, the Stanley Cup. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going – it seems like an easy no-brainer, but I'm going Avs over Blackhawks on Saturday just because I'm so scared of those guys right now.
You need a win. That's what you're saying. You need a win.
I need a dub, and I'm getting on that train.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, that's about it, Jenks. Any final thoughts for the people at home today?
Follow the trade deadline stuff. Trade deadline is next week.
Kyle Dubas is already in his office.
Kyle Dubas is in his office. He is ready to field phone calls. He's already doing a phenomenal job. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Pens do now that Crosby's out for a month. Do they try to retool? Do they look for a stopgap? I don't know. We'll have to follow along. Yeah. But it's time to either buy or sell depending on where you're at, and we know there will be some trades over the next week here.
Yeah, so. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be real hot, and hopefully the Pens. I think if the Pens start sliding, Dubas will make a trade. But if they hang on, I think it's status quo. Maybe trade some picks around for some better picks. So. That's about it for us, guys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube at Black Aces Hockey Podcast. And I'm your co-host, Blaine Adams. I'm right here as always with your co-host, Nick Jenkins. We're out of here. Later.